The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Chopping up Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby? It's in shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Mark the truth while live on air light. Chopping up Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby? It's in shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Mark the truth while live on air light.
What is up, my beautiful late night people? It is Dolly back in the house again. Let me tell you, it feels good to be back in the studio, and our sound is on point. New mixers, new mics, new chords. Everything is working great, sounding great. Sounds like way better, like way better. So it's amazing what a little bit of good gear can do. And now, of course, we can take phone calls and share videos and do everything we're supposed to do here on Dolly Vision. So we were down for like a week, right? Like a good week. But $1,000 later, we're back. We're back. And hey, listen, you got to pay to play, right? You got to pay to play. And today we're going to be talking about, for my late night people, and there ain't many of you here, but a lot of my replay gang will catch this video today. We're going to be talking about Summer Wells, Sebastian Rogers, Jack, and Lilly Sullivan. I'm going to break it down pretty much into like 3 parts, all right? But nothing's changed. I'm still going to need you to leave your DNA on that like button, your fingerprints all over it. Of course, share my ugly face everywhere. And sub up if you haven't subbed up the channel yet. But I do have to give my warnings because we're talking to some of these people, and some of these families are a little bit, lawsuit happy. So I still haven't dialed everything in yet. I got a little tiny bit of feedback going. But once I get everything set on this mixer, I will be good to go. But my warnings are this: Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only, right? I didn't forget what I say. I haven't said it in so long. I done forgot what the hell I say. Anybody want to say it for me? Dolly Vision is for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. Just my opinion, people. Completely satire. I don't think I'm taking no calls this morning, but if I do, callers' opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on the Dolly. Everyone is innocent to proving guilty in a court of law, and that even means you guys out there watching, okay? And the biggest one of them all, do not, and I repeat, do not try to be Dolly at home. It is dangerous. Okay, Summer Wells case, it had kind of went cold a little bit. We were at the 4.5 year point with Summer Wells missing from, Hawkins County, Tennessee. There's a lot of people missing in Tennessee. Sometimes I get those places confused. Hawkins County, Summer Wells goes missing, and we wasn't hearing much. We didn't get any updates for the last 2.5 years from, Ronnie Lawson and the detective that's working the case, Pruitt. Just basically the cold shoulder. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, actually, they came out and said, hey, that they would be giving an update shortly after we did that prayer vigil uh, on the 2 year anniversary of Summer Wells. They said, we're going to come out shortly and give a little update, but they never did. They never came out and gave us anything, just cold silence, nothing in the Summer Wells case until here recently when they were, basically raiding Van Hill Road, which was the house of Paul Hill, uncle of Fred Hill, like great uncle of Andy B, or something like that. Just a family member of Fred Hill, basically. Now, we know that there was a lot of drugs going on in that holler, a lot of weird things happening. Everybody out there was basically a drug addict, right? And they were using some pretty heavy narcotics. We're just going to say Breaking Bad. I'm sure you guys know what Breaking Bad is, or mathematics. We'll use that word. And so basically, we know Don was doing drugs, Candace drinking, Andy B and Fred Hill, all these people under the influence. And I don't know if y'all been watching for how long you've been watching, but there, we were taking calls one night and Candace's cousin called in. And she started talking about Marlena, the girl that was staying with Candace, Candace's friend and her daughter, and the connections to these people. Like one of the dudes was named like Spider, and it was basically people that were involved in drug rings. Okay. And she believed that something had happened, something had transpired, not only with that it may have been Melina, right? Melina that may have had some bad transitions or owed these people some money or done something to these people, and they come to snatch her daughter and grab Summer Wells. Now, I don't remember how many of y'all remember that call, but we are going to go over that call a little bit today. And because we know this, right, that Fred Hill was distributing drugs in that holler. We've heard Don Wells say it. We've heard Jody Sue Brown say it. We've heard a bunch of people say that they were selling drugs out of that holler. And even the neighbors told me when I was down there, people that lived in the adjacent areas to where Don and Candace lived, they told me that, believe it or not, for be a remote area, that there was a lot of traffic at Don and Candace's house, a lot of people going up to the house or going into the holler because I believe that was the spot. That was like the to get your drugs, right? So we've had all kind of, we don't know what type of people was coming through there, but we do know that Marlena was tied into a whole bunch of bad people that to right now are still in prison for these drug charges that they call all around the same time frame as Summer Wells going missing. So is there anything to that? That is my question. And is this the way that it ties in Van Hill Road because of Fred Hill? Okay, because I believe Fred Hill was involved in these drug rings, and Marlena, Fred, all these people were friends at one time, right? They were all friends at one time, and then something happened. And I tell you what happened. Summer Wells went missing, and everybody in the holler started pointing fingers and blaming each other. My biggest thing is what was going on in them hollers the weeks leading up to Summer Wells going missing. We know what was happening when she went missing, right? Apparently Candace was out with the young man, Hunter, and they had went to the lake, and who knows what they were doing at the lake off in the woods while Summer was swimming by herself. Okay. And allegedly Grandis was supposed to have been at the truck. So they said they were in the woods watching TikTok videos, but I don't really know. I think they may have been doing something else because, of course, there's been these rumors that Hunter was sleeping with Candace. Okay. So I'm going to jump into this interview and let me add it to the stage real fast. Bam. And let's get right into it.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Hey, I was just calling to tell you I've never watched your show before. Thank you for keeping Summer's name out there. But we don't agree with anything you guys are saying as far
What's
as
up,
Summer goes.
Stony Stone?
This is not the first time Candace has had a kid go missing. Her older daughter, Candy, went missing in foster care. And we put flyers out then, and then Summer came missing. But we, honest to God, don't believe that they're responsible for this. We think it's a mistaken identity, that the people they were hanging out with were actually the targets and not the Wells and not Summer. And everything people are saying is driving us nuts because has nothing to do with Summer.
I'm lost. Like, I just got sucked into a parallel universe or something. You lost me. Like, okay,
Okay, now this person that's on the phone is Candace's cousin. All right, I just want to clear it up for anybody that may just be tuning in, wondering who this is talking. This is an interview that I done 2 years ago. But at the time, I didn't pay the lady very much mind. I was just like, okay, sometimes we get some crazy ass people that call here. So I was thinking, is this just another crazy calling, thinking they know what happened to Summer Wells? And then about a year and a half after this phone call, I started digging into it, right? I was like, let me go back and let me check out and see if there's anything to what this lady was saying. Now, not everything was correct, but I would say good 90% of what she was saying was adding up. Now, there was a few inconsistencies. Elena, hi, Dolly. Your sound is on point. Thanks, chatters. Hit that like button. Thank you, Helena. Thank you for being here late night with me. There's only 261 of you in the room at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? It's 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time where I'm at. I was up hooking everything up, setting up, just cleaning the studio, rearranging different things like that. So I've been up since, I don't know, working on the studio and the sound and hooking everything up, untangling wires and just all kinds of stuff. So thank y'all for being here with me so late.
what?
What? All right, Candace had 2 children removed.
Yeah,
before
okay,
she had
but
her 4 with. Okay.
I know that one daughter had ran away from foster care for a little bit, but
she did. And
it wasn't nothing to do with Candace, right?
No, it had nothing to do with Candace.
Yeah, okay.
We were still, as a family, looking for her, and it had nothing to do with it. And before that, our cousin Rose went missing, and then Candace's older daughter went missing.
Okay,
and then
wait, you keep saying we. Are you kin to the Wells?
I am.
Okay, who are you first? We know who we're talking to.
I'm her cousin.
Is your name just cousin? Do you got a name?
Well, we'll just go with cuz.
Cuz. All right, cuz.
Yeah. All right, cuz.
You on that bullshit?
No, it's all been turned into the
That's
TBI.
that bullshit.
No, I'm not talking bullshit. No, I'm
Oh,
not.
okay.
This has all been turned into TBI.
Oh.
No. So we've had people go missing before on that side of the family where we've gone up in arms looking for children, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden Summer goes missing. We're like, what the hell is going on over here? You got 2 kids missing from the same mom. But the word on the street, because we still have kin there, the word on the street, this Summer was not the intended target there. This has nothing to do with them.
So somebody wanted to kidnap somebody, but they didn't want to kidnap Summer. But when they got there,
no. Let me lay it down for you. Okay, you can investigate those too. You can, as I speak.
Okay, I'm gonna look up see if they have a cousin named Cuz first. That's gonna be
listen.
First step.
Look up a dude named Spider. Okay,
all right.
He was arrested at 2 o'clock in the morning the day Summer went missing.
Okay,
and he was in a drug deal. Okay, he was arrested a few miles down from their house. Right in Rogersville.
Now, this part is true. There is an individual named Spider. He was arrested. Matter of fact, just the other day, we were showing Marlena's brother, and of course, he looked like they drug him out of a dumpster, all kind of messed up, right? And it just shows you that Candace and Don Wells were having all kinds of bad people around those children the whole time. So, is it a possibility? Because we've heard Don say they took her and didn't bring her back. It's almost like Don Wells knew who took Summer, right? And he was hoping they would bring her back, but I guess they got spooked and never brought Summer back.
Tennessee. He was meeting three people from Virginia. They were coming up. Okay. And somebody called him an anonymous tip and he was busted. It wasn't the Wells that called him in, but the people they were hanging out with called him in. You can look this up. His name's Steven and he goes by Spider. June 15th. You look this up. I'm telling you the truth. They bust Spider.
Okay, his name is Steven, though.
Yeah.
And he was arrested June 15th.
Yep.
Of last
At
year.
2 o'clock in the morning. No.
2 years ago.
2021. The day Summer went missing. I'm telling
Okay.
you.
And this is
Listen to me. I'm
absolutely
telling you the truth.
factual what she's
This is
saying.
like crazy. Nobody's
We
listening
looked
to us.
it up.
He was busted. He was meeting people from Virginia. Okay. The car load of 3 people. An anonymous tip called in. Spider had drugs on him. They busted him that morning. They were pissed off because it was intercepted. Okay. And it came back to 110 Ben Hill Road, but it was not the Wells who called it in. It was the Crawfords. And all of a sudden, Ricky gets killed the next day. I'm telling you, this is
Which dude is Ricky?
truth. Ricky's Marlena's brother.
Marlena is the one that's living in the homeless camp or whatever, right?
No, I don't know where the fuck the bitch is now. I'd like to know, but I don't know because she wouldn't be there. No, she's all, it comes down to the Crawfords. I'm telling you right now, listen to me. The Crawfords were the intended target. It was not the Wells. And in our hearts and souls, we believe with every fiber.
Yeah, but did they have a daughter?
Journey. Her name's Journey.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Commercial.
Okay,
They sure did.
so these people that busted on Spider, that you saying this is a retaliation, and some people have
Oh, that's
showed.
exactly what I'm saying. And the people that did it are in Rowan Mountain, Tennessee. And we turned this into the TBI, and nobody's listening to us. He puts on his Facebook, keep them stuck and still their children, and he's all into like
Thank you, Tammy.
Joshua. It's called the Isaiah House. He said we steal their kids and homeschool them. And this guy's freaking nuts out of his mind on drugs because he's a drug dealer.
Well, people are saying
And-
Ricky Crawford is still alive, but I 100% believe the
he's not.
Crawfords are
No, he's not.
involved.
He's dead. He got drowned. Nope, he's not. He's dead. Nope, they killed him. He's dead. He's killed.
No,
So,
I'm telling you right now, that man's dead.
so you're saying this? They done went and got Summer because of this drug he got ratted on, snitching.
It wasn't them though.
Yeah, but it was
It wasn't-
mistaken. They came there thinking it was the Crawfords, and they ended up getting Summer. Is what you're saying?
Honest to God, that's what we believe. And the only way it makes sense, if you listen to me, is her timeline is a lie. That's a big fat lie. But the Wells, I'm telling you, Donnie and Candace are innocent as can be. They didn't do it. This is like, if you look at their timeline, her timeline doesn't make sense because it's not true. Her timeline, she left the home. And Grandma, or you can call her Grandis or whatever the fuck you want, we call her Candy. Candy was there. And she was sleeping. And the boys were supposed to be in charge of the home. And Candace left.
Where did
She
Candace
left.
go? Cuz
Well, you want to know the truth? She went to take Hunter home.
Okay, now I've been saying for a while that I believe Hunter, they didn't go back to Allie's house instantly because if you remember, Grandis was with him at the lake. Okay, but when Allie was talking about Summer being in the car and Candace coming over, she never said nothing about Grandis being there. All right, anybody remember that? So is it the case where they left the lake and went back to Ben Hill, and then from Ben Hill, Candace got in the car and took Hunter home? Because Allie comes out and says, remember, she says that Summer was sleeping in the car, but she never said nothing about Grandis being there. So where did Grandis go in all this? Did she just vanish? Did she just disappear?
She was taking Hunter home. She was there with Hunter, and she wasn't supposed to be there with Hunter. She
so
was
you're
taking
saying
Hunter home.
when Allie says that Summer was in the car when she brought Hunter home?
Oh, Allie, no,
That's
she
a
already
lie.
lied. No, and then if you go back and look on YouTube, she already admitted that was a lie. That was a big fat lie. She's a big fat liar. She was like not following Hunter's probation at all. She let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do with Candace and whoever he wanted to do it with. She
I
didn't give a
believe
shit.
that.
She was too fat and lazy, sleeping in her bed on the toilet, whatever the hell she was doing, but she wasn't watching her kid. I'm telling you, that was a lie. So what happened is she was taking Hunter home And so her timeline is screwed up. And when she says she don't want to talk about it because, oh, I already told the TBA, everybody knows if I tell it, this is the perpetrator. Fuck that. No, she don't want to tell the truth.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if Candace is completely innocent, like you're saying, then why all the fuck shit? Why all the
Well, let me tell you why. But it's going to come out now. Let me tell you why. It's about ready to come out. Let me tell you why. Because she was afraid to lose her boys. But now the boys don't want to come home. So Candace has nothing else to lose, right? It's going to come out. Let me tell you the truth. It's coming out. You guys all watch. It's coming out. Candace lied about the timeline, and she was scared. But now she has nothing else to lose. And Don, the guilt is eating them up alive. And they're coming out. They had nothing to do with this little baby going missing. It's not them. It's not.
Yes, B. Allie did say that Hunter had a doctor's appointment at 3:30. And she also said that, he was upset and he was rocking on the bed. Now, what was he upset about? He had just went off and had a drink and was having fun. And why would he come back and just all of a sudden be so upset to where he's crying and rocking back and forth on the bed? Something transpired between that lake and they knew that Summer was alive at the Sonic, right? When you leave Warrior's Path and you take a right, the Sonic sits right there by Warrior's Path. The FBI confirmed that Summer was alive. I guess she was seen in the vehicle at that Sonic. That's the last proof of life we have that day, was when Summer Wells was at that Sonic. What happened from that Sonic to home? So we know she didn't drown because FBI gave proof of life at the Sonic. They went to the Sonic after they left Warrior's Path. So, because what they did is they left Warrior's Path, they went across the street to the Walgreens, and then because Warrior's Path, Walgreens, and Sonic sit right there really close to each other within a block. So they went over there. Well, at first, originally, they went to the hippie house. Then they went to the lake. Then they went to the Walgreens. Then they went to the Sonic. Then they went to the Save Less. Here's the thing is, where did they go when they left the Save Less? Did they go straight to Hunter's? Because there's no mention of Grandis being there. Or did they go back to the hill? Because Save Less would have been closer to the holler than it would have been to Hunter's house. Because I truly believe they went to the house, and then something transpired at that house, and then they went back and she dropped Hunter off. Now, is it like Stony Stone just said in the chat room? Was it one of those things where Summer had caught them doing something and she said she was going to tell Don? Or is it a case of where they were drinking? And I've shared this before, that Candace on the phone one night said, she regretted letting Summer play near the truck. What does that mean, right? She said it all drunk one night when she was on the phone with me and PJ. And I was thinking, why would she just randomly say that? Did they go back to the house? Did they get out the vehicle and they pull off and hit Summer? Was Summer hit by a vehicle? And then, they freaked out. Candace did something. I mean, I don't know. These are just hypotheticals. And then she took Hunter home, and that would explain why Hunter was upset. I don't know.
And we've already turned these people into the TBI over and over, and nobody's listening. And we keep sending like video proof and proof. This is not them. They didn't do it. It's not them. It's the Crawfords. They need to look closer, and they need to look at these people that we're sending like the proof. This guy like has pictures of like keeping stock and stealing their babies. Like he talks about this code and all this weird shit. He's talking about the jailhouse code. Like when they go to jail, they write letters and code to each other and shit. This guy, and I don't know how I could put his name out there without getting in trouble. In my opinion, it's Philip. I don't know how to. I'm not.
Yeah, don't worry about his name. Just send it to me in my Facebook.
All right, but he's from Rowan Mountain. I'm telling you. And there's a video of this guy living in the woods and talking about stealing kids and all this bullshit and keeping them like in an Amish school almost, like it's called the Isaiah House. He calls it like this religious house. And I swear to God, our family does not believe that they're guilty. Honest to God, they're not. And we think that these people honestly took Summer and on mistake. It wasn't not the intended target. Marlena's daughter, Journey, was actually, that's why Marlena's freaking out. Summer was not the one that was supposed to be gone. It was supposed to be Journey. And everybody's like, oh, she was gone 2 to 3 minutes. No, she wasn't. She was gone 2 to 3 hours. And that's why.
So what else is Candace lying about? Because you said the timeline is wrong, that Allie lied.
That's it. No, that's it. And Allie.
So
Now, I truly believe that Allie was lying and covering for Candace. I believe they were frenemies. Even when Chris McDonough was there and Allie kept playing on her phone, I think she was talking to Candace, right? And because all it was, you know, she didn't want her son going down for having an involvement in what happened to Summer. Now, that's always been my theory, that these people know. Now, Cuz believes that, you know, this has to do with Marlena and the people she was surrounded with, and they came for some retribution to her and was going to grab Journey, but ended up grabbing Summer, right? And then once they took the kid, they were scared to bring the kid back or let the kid go, and you know, the rest is history. But here's the thing: most of them people that were involved with Marlena were just pure T trash. We seen them, right? And what she's telling about the people going to jail that were coming from Virginia, that is true. The Spider Dude going to jail is true. Marlena's brother just recently went to jail, and all these people are going to jail for what, you know, Fred Hill was doing in the holler, which was basically the Breaking Bad. So, you know, and then you seen Candace on Dr. Phil get so upset when they mentioned the Cornbread Mafia. But the Cornbread Mafia ain't moving meth through the South. They're moving large amounts of weed through the South, right? But it was clearly enough to upset Candace, because I think Candace knows that a drug ring or some drug dealers did get the kid. And if Don and Candace could be actually scared of these people, and we've heard Don say, well, they took her and they didn't bring her back. She's probably in a hotel with a drug dealer and they're pimping her out. We've heard him say all these things. It's almost like he knows something. And it could be either one of these theories that are correct. But what we do know is Summer didn't just vanish.
while she was gone, what do you think happened?
She took Hunter home, and they came up on that hill and got that baby. That's honest to God what happened. And if you look at like the FBI evidence and the TBI and the LE evidence, nothing. Why have they not arrested them? Because they didn't do it. And the digital evidence proves it on the phone and their GPS and all that stuff. They did not do this. This was not them. This was done to them. And they're not listening to the people that we think in our hearts did this. And if you look Spider up, I'm telling you.
Now, I think the cousin had some of the facts. She didn't have everything right, but she had about 90% of what she was saying right. So
you Google the Times Herald, June 15th, 2021, and look at Stephen's record, Spider. You'll see he was arrested at 2:00 that morning.
Okay, somebody asked, how did the 110 address get mixed up?
It didn't get mixed up. That was because she was staying there. It did not get mixed up.
So when she called the police on Spider, she called from 110 Ben Hill Road.
No, she didn't call the police on Spider, though. It wasn't her. She didn't do it. She did not call the police.
No, I'm saying
Spider.
Marlena called the police on Spider, right?
No. There was an anonymous tip. It was anonymous. Whoever called, what I'm trying to tell you is Spider got the drugs from this dude in Rowan Mountain, okay?
Uh-huh.
And the dude he got the drugs fronted from is the one that had this arranged. It was not the Wells, I'm telling you. And if you look at the son of a bitch online, which we have done, and we've sent it to the TBI, the FBI, the LE, and we're telling them, look at this guy. He's talking about stealing babies. He's talking about being this great drug dealer, blah, 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 and keeping them stuck and stealing their kids. And
you gave all this information to TBI?
We did. And they're not listening. They're not listening to us because they think we're like stupid hillbillies or something. They're not listening. They won't listen. And we're trying to tell them, listen, somebody called in on Spider and it wasn't us. But his people took retaliation on the Wells, trying to get back at the Crawfords. And it wasn't us. It had nothing to do with them.
Yeah, but you think somebody's gonna come because you told them somebody's gonna come take your kid? I mean, that's a little extreme, don't you think? For snitching on somebody?
No. How much do you think that he had on him? How many kilos do you think he had on him?
What, when they busted him?
Yeah. Look it up. It's all right there. It's all.
I mean, how many kilos did he have? Just save me the trouble. You can tell me.
No, go ahead. No, look it up. He had guns. He had drugs. He had a backpack full of shit. not only that, but the people came from West Virginia, but he had information on the Isaiah house. He had information on their whole racket that they had going in Rowan Mountain over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, look it up. He's still in freaking jail right now.
So if he's in jail, he couldn't have done it. So, but you're saying his people done it?
Spider didn't take it. No,
He went
Spider
in
did
jail
not
at the
take it.
time, though.
I'm telling you, the guy that he was working for, he did it. I'm telling you right now, that man Philip did it. And with my whole heart, as I'm sitting here breathing, I swear to God, hand to God, I believe that man did it. Hand to God.
And he did that because of a drug debt, because his drugs got knocked off.
He did it because he was busted, and they had information regarding his operation.
All right, somebody told me to ask you, do you think Summer is alive?
I don't. I honest to God don't. You know why? Because I think she was too much of a liability at that point. I think they had to, I think they cut their losses, and I think, I don't want to start crying, but honest to God, I don't think that they kept her. I think that they got rid of her because they realized that they made a mistake.
Yeah, and I don't know how I would look up Spider because I don't know his last name.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. Hold on. I can tell you. You just give me 10 seconds. I'll tell you. 1 second. Hold on. I got all of it.
And she had sent me a DM.
Or you can just shoot it to me on Facebook,
with
like I
some
said.
information in it.
And
Also,
I don't
I'll
know
look
if
into
you're on. I've never listened to. I don't even know your name. I've never listened to your show before.
Oh, okay. Well, how did you find me?
I just looked up live on YouTube, and you popped up.
Oh, okay. And it
Right,
just
hold on.
happened to be something you knew all about that you happen to be family with.
Well, no. I just happened to see you were talking about Summer Wells. I'm like,
oh,
well,
okay.
listen,
Okay.
I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to tell you.
so yeah, at the time this girl called, I wouldn't believe in nothing she said. Okay, I was just like, okay, this is another dingbat that thinks she knows what happened to Summer Wells. It may not even be related to her, and I kind of just blew it off for the longest time. And then when I went back through it, I was just watching some of my old videos, and I was like, let me dig into this just a little bit, just in case this lady's not nuts. Then, like I said, 90% of what she was saying, I found out to be true. There were some inconsistencies, some things that were wrong, but the majority of what she was saying was dead on. And these people were tied to Melina's brother, and to the holler and all these things. And I'm thinking, okay, well, now this call is a little more like, what if she's right? I'm not saying she is right. I'm just saying, what if she is right?
June 15th, 2021. I'm doing it right now. Hold on.
Okay.
I know you think I'm nuts, but I'm not.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
It's in the Times Herald. And that's
Okay,
the local
Ziggy's in the
newspaper.
room. I got you. She says, look up this article by Newsbreak called 4 Arrested After Large Quantity of Meth.
Yep, that's
Numerous
it.
guns
Ziggy.
seized from
Hi,
Churchill
Ziggy. I
residents.
love Ziggy. Yep.
Okay, now this is before Ziggy was married to Fred Hill. Okay, now, instantly Ziggy came out, tried to run interference on Paul Hill. Soon as the police raided that house, she was kind of trying to distance herself and calling in other tips and different things, because I guess she was trying to take the attention off that this has something to do with Fred Hill's family. Okay, and all this has to do with these people are out here somewhere making meth and selling methamphetamines. So is I believe every bit of me believes that this has something to do with drugs.
Yep, Ziggy's right. Yep, Ziggy's right. That's it. She's right. I'm telling you.
So Don and Candace was tied into those people, which was Marlena, and Marlena was tied into Spider.
Marlena, yeah. It was not done directly. It was by accident. I'm telling you. This was by accident. They were not tied in directly to them. That's the heartbreak about the whole situation.
So then what would make some people go after them? I mean, what would make them think the Wells were involved there, where they would have to go kidnap Summer?
Where, if I can tell you, that's where they stayed. That's where she spent a majority of her time. She was like there all the time. And that's the only thing. They didn't mean to take her to hurt her or kill her or anything. They were using her as collateral. And then all of a sudden it blew up. And they're like, oh, fuck, we got the wrong person. We got the wrong victim. We got the wrong person.
So nobody at the house. The Grandis was asleep. The kids didn't see nothing. I mean, what did they come into the house?
Oh, but they did. No, listen, the kids did see something, though. Here's the thing. When Candace went to the door and said, "Hey, Wyatt, watch Summer," you don't say that for 2 seconds, right? You say that when you're leaving. "Hey, watch your sister," and get in your car and leave. And Gramps even said, I hate even calling her that. We call her, that's Candace.
Now that does make sense a little bit, right? Are you going to tell somebody to watch somebody if you just running right over there and you're in the same yard? You know, or did she tell the boys to watch Summer and she really jumped in the car and took Hunter home and Grandis was covering for her, right? And she was gone for a while. But you know, the weird thing too is that's the second person that went missing around Grandis. And then, of course, when this happened, Grandis packed up her stuff and left. She is like the plague doctor, right? I wouldn't want to be around Grandis. People come up missing around Grandis. Facts. You know, Summer's sister still missing. Rose never found. And we heard Candace joking about she's under the concrete in a driveway, right? That's just weird, crazy stuff. And then did she leave and something happened? And, you know, maybe did she fall down them raggedy stairs? Did something happen and they cover it up? I mean, there's just so many different things it could be. But what would lead the police to search Van Hill Road? And what information, what tip led them there? Now, we do know Candace was seeing another man recently, and that was Dee Dee's husband. Dee Dee passed away, and then Candace started sleeping with her man. And then, of course, she went back to Don Wells. And then shortly after that, this tip comes in. I'm thinking the man that's Dee Dee's husband is the one that called in the tip that led them to Van Hill Road, because, you know, they had been partying and drinking together. And when Candace gets to drinking, she gets a little loose in the lips and she may have said something, trusting this man. But then, of course, she went back to Don Wells. But somebody called the tip in because the FBI took it seriously. So it's going to be somebody that is really close to the Wells or to somebody in that holler for them to take the tip so seriously. You heard the cuz say the TBI didn't take my tip seriously. They didn't do anything. They didn't investigate. They didn't call me back. But they took this real seriously. They showed up with the Hawkins County Police. They showed up with the TBI and the FBI. So is this something where Hawkins County reached out to the FBI, or was that report reported to the FBI? So the FBI led the investigation. And you got to remember, if they reported it, it was before the search, right? It was probably reported weeks before they actually searched, because they have to put a team together. They have to notify all the other law enforcement agencies, and then they have to come up with a plan, and then they go do it. So this is right around the time that Candace would have been with that man.
We call
Candy.
Grandma. Listen, we call Grandma Candy. Okay. So I don't like to call her Grandis. I feel it's very disrespectful. So Candy was sleeping in her trailer and she heard Candace leave. And she'll tell you that I heard her leave. She was leaving to take Hunter home. And her timeline don't make sense because it's not true what she's telling. And that's why they look guilty. Her timeline does not make sense because she left. And when she left, that's when it happened.
But what I'm saying, then, what did the boys see? If Summer was inside with the boys, how did the people get in the house and grab Summer without the boys seeing it? And why didn't they take the boys?
No, listen, Summer went outside. And if you listen to what Ronnie Lassen says, and I have this interview, he says, the boys said Summer was last seen walking out of the house and Summer left the home. Summer went outside and they got her outside. It wasn't like they didn't know the boys were inside. They didn't go inside the house. I'm telling you, they took Summer. She went outside to play and they grabbed her because they thought she was Journey. I swear to God, as I'm breathing, they thought she was Journey and she wasn't Journey. And when they realized.
Now, you can hear in her voice, she believes what she's saying, right? I swear to God on my life and blah, blah, blah. She believes in her mind what she is saying to be true, right? And this is, you know, somebody that's apparently family with Candace, and they believe this to be the case.
She was Summer. I think they did something bad to her. I really do. I honest to God do. I swear to God, I think they did something bad to that little girl. And I wish with every fiber of my being that I'm not right, and I pray I'm not right, but I think I am. I think they did something very bad to that little girl because they thought she was not Summer. They thought she was Marlena's kid.
What do you mean you said you did something really bad to that little girl?
I think they killed her.
Oh, you think they did something bad? Thought you said, I think I did something bad to that little girl.
Not me. No, honey. I'm a hillbilly. Listen to me very carefully. I'm a hillbilly. Sometimes I can talk and no, not me. I would never, ever, ever do anything bad to a child. Ever.
From my understanding, this woman has passed away since this interview. That's what I heard. Now I haven't went in and super checked, but I heard she has passed away. Now that could be just rumors. That could be just some shit somebody made up, but that's what I'm hearing. And she hasn't popped back up since. So something's going on with her.
Ever. I worked in public schools. I retired from a public school. No, I would never, ever, ever do anything bad to a child. I have 6 grandchildren myself. I'm an older lady. I would never harm a child. Not me. They did something bad to that little girl, I think. In my heart, I believe that they did something bad to that little girl. In our family, when we sit around and talk about this is what we think happened. We think she wasn't the target that was supposed to be. And when you hear Jody Sue and Andy and all that bullshit and all the fucking shit in the holler, that's all drama bullshit that takes away from Summer. Summer wasn't supposed to be gone. It wasn't Summer they were after. We honest to God think.
Now, in that article, that Newsbreak article that Ziggy was talking about.
Do you see it?
No, I haven't seen the article. I haven't looked it up. But you saying Steven is Spider?
Yep.
Okay, so I can find the 4 people that were arrested. Go by Steven, and that would be the Spider guy.
Right. But let me tell you, Steven's.
Now she was absolutely right about that part. I did look that up. I seen the 4 people, drugs, guns, all that stuff. Not good people at all, and they all looked like they were on drugs.
Steven's dealer is in Rowan Mountain, and he's not in that article. He's not mentioned. And I turned this into the TBI, and I turned it into nobody listens to us. They think we're freaking hicks from the light and back. And let me tell you, and I can relate it back to Candace Wells too. It's Mendenhall. I can tell you. So, if you look up that. Yeah, you look that up, and I've got it all screenshots of all of her friends, and I'm telling you right now. And him and Spider were connected, and that's a connection to the Wells. But they weren't the target. I'm telling you right now, they were not the target. The target was a.
So you saying the drug man's mad over a debt because his man got busted with drugs? He blamed it on Melina. Went to kidnap Melina's daughter, but accidentally got Summer Wells.
I think he was trying to scare her. I'm trying to tell you, I think they were trying to scare her, and I think they wanted payment because that shit got interrupted, and it wasn't only that like $5 or $10 worth. There was a large amount of drugs and guns. That man had guns too.
Do you live out there in the holler?
My parents do.
Okay.
My parents do, and if you know my last name, you'd be like, "Oh fuck." Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. We're right there. Nope. I'm not. I'm nowhere near there. I'm hours away. I live in a different state, but I'm telling you. I know, I believe my people. I believe my family. And we talk about this shit. And I'm telling you, nobody's listening to us. They were not supposed to, Summer wasn't supposed to be the girl. And if you look at this idiot, I don't know how to get you the information, but I'd love to give you his name.
Yeah, I mean, you can email me. It's real easy. My email.
All right. Well, tell me, can you put it up on your screen so I can screenshot it?
Yeah. My mods will type it up real quick. JimmyJams757@gmail.com. Mods, post that up in a link for me, and then she can
screenshot it. I don't know what your damn name is. I just went to live and I seen something else. I'm like, all right.
The name is. They call me Dolly. Dolly.
All right, Dolly. I'm telling you, I've reached out to Josh, and he blew me off. I reached out to what the hell? I think his name's Doug. He blew me off. Well, first I reached out to Chris, and he's like with I don't know, the behavior panel.
Yeah, the Cold Case Foundation.
Yeah. And I'm like, listen, here's what
there you go.
Our cousins, here's what we think happened. And he's like, oh, yeah, like they blew us off like we were dumb hicks or something. I'm like, no, I'm trying to tell you people. And we turned in this gentleman's name, And I sent all those screenshots that I have where he's talking about stealing children and splitting up 8 balls and selling 8 balls and kids. And
can you send some of that over to that email I got posted on the screen right now? See, it says jimmyjam757@gmail.com.
Wait 1 second. I'm going to do it right now. Hold on. Jimmy Jam 757. Right. Hold on. Let me get on my email and I'm going to do it right now as we're speaking. So, you know, I'm not full of shit. Because I know this has got to be a lot for you.
And what are you sending over?
Well, I'm going to send you all my screenshots of all this bullshit about Spider and the person I think that is responsible in Rowan Mountain. And I had a video I sent to Don B. And he's like, yeah, this is a guy walking through the woods. I'm like, no, he's walking through fucking railroad tracks, over rivers and tunnels and talking about hiding bodies and shit. What's the matter with you? This is a guy, like, you know.
Now, there are some locations down in Tennessee that I am going to be checking, you know. I found out some information, you know, and, you know, I've searched a bunch of areas. Every time I go down there, I search a little area, a little grid, and kind of, you know, mark it off my map. So there's some other places that are of interest to me that I'm going to go check. You know, I've been hunting down these different fishing holes in the areas around where Candace was at. Now I ain't going to tell you where I'm going to search, but I'm pretty sure I narrowed down where her fishing spot is, where she actually goes. So I am going to be doing a little bit of looking around in those areas when I go back to Tennessee. I just can't tell people when I'm going to be down there because I don't want no problems.
And he's connected to Spider, which is connected to the girl, you said.
Yes.
And do you have any way to show that they're connected?
Well, look at his friend list.
Okay.
757, right?
Yep.
At Gmail?
Yep. Yeah, she said she told TBI.
I did. I already did. I already turned all this into TBI. But they don't tell us shit, right? They don't tell us anything. Okay, screenshots, because I got screenshots of this shit. 3,900 of them.
3,900. Well, don't send me all those.
No, I'm going to send you some right now where these are the people I think are directly related to this dipshit. I have like all these messages. Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get, and I've got like, and I hate to say this, but my kid's a cop, so I have him run a lot of these names. I'm like, give me this information. So I got all their like criminal history and shit because they scare me. Like, I think that they did something to Summer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're going to receive a lot. This is Candace's friends list, okay? And this will show you how they're related if you will like look at that.
Okay.
So you're going to.
Okay, she did send me a bunch of information. That's why how I was able to, you know, verify some of the things that the cousin was saying to be true. But there's some statements she said that wasn't true. But like I say, the majority of the stuff she said was probably about 90% accurate as far as the people that they were involved with, the connections of the people, what happened to the people, right? And the time frame of this all transpired, which would have put them all around the area that Summer Wells was at. Now, you know, that's just one theory of what could have possibly happened to Summer Wells. All right. The other theory is, of course, the parents are responsible because this would take it out of the hands of Don and Candace. And of course, the cousin as a family member. And she probably don't want people blaming her family. She's probably closer with Candace and Don than she was letting on. And this could be one of those let me white knight for the Wells, right? Because the Wells, their behavior is so odd in the way they handled the whole situation with Summer Wells and still to this day, how they're handling that stuff right now. You know, they're saying that they don't want people putting out flyers and, you know, that she's in heaven. Are you all on chat, Beach Bum? Okay, you got to make sure you're on live chat, guys. If you're out there chatting with each other in the chat room, make sure you're on live chat. And what happened? Is this did something tragic happen? It wasn't an accident and they covered it up, or is this one of these they did it on purpose? I mean, there's just so many different things in Summer Wells, and without the police giving us any updates, I was hoping after, you know, of course, the Van Hill Road raid that we would get some information about why they did that. Even they could at least said, hey, we got a tip that led us to this house and or whatever it may be, but they didn't do nothing. But they did let the media know that they were raiding a residence on Van Hill Road, but gave no other information of to why or what was taken or what was found. Did they find any clues at Van Hill Road? Are they further investigating? Right? Because we hear, even though it's been 4.5 years, it's still an active investigation. Bones just gifted 5 Dolly memberships. Thank you, Bones. That is nice of you. Glad you could be here this morning. It's real early, 5:30. Some of y'all are probably just getting up, or some of y'all are just going to bed. But I've been in the studio working, so I figured, hey, I better stream while I can, even though it's late. I figured I'd get one in before I hit the bed later. I didn't even get up to my sleep schedule's been way off. So the mystery for Summer Wells just thickens, right? And I'm glad that there is, they lit the flame back up and got people back interested in Summer Wells because it was slowly fading off of YouTube. There weren't very many people still talking about Summer Wells. So at least that raid did something with getting people to talk about it. That's a good thing. Now, the next story, I want to jump into this morning, of course, is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. February 26th, he goes missing almost 2 years ago. Matter of fact, we're about 2 months away from the 2-year anniversary. So he's been missing for 22 months, which is a long time. How time flies under strange circumstances. I mean, we still got people out there looking at the light videos and all this, and that, that would mean that Sebastian ran away. And I don't think anybody in this world thinks that Sebastian ran away, but there's one YouTuber that's constantly looking at lights and shadows and shit, right? The story don't make sense. The family is not acting right. Their behavior is just unbelievable, and we haven't seen much from him. In the last interview that his family did, the mother said, is basically lying that, the news don't want to cover the story because of the drama that's surrounding it, like the drama on the internet. The news ain't covering the story because she ain't giving the news no interviews. They put Seth on the news all the time. When Seth was standing in front of the sheriff's office, on the news. When he was in the boat with TikTok Tony, on the news. When the fake intelligence agency upped the reward, on the news. So the news has no problem with talking about Sebastian Rogers, right? They don't. But when she said that, I was taken back from it because this is a mother that don't want this child to have that attention. They want all this to go away instead of their son coming back, which to me is pretty mind blowing, right? Why don't you want your child back? But we got to remember, at the time that he went missing, they didn't even want him there. They wanted him in a boarding school. They wanted him somewhere else. They couldn't handle him. Apparently, he wasn't getting along with his stepdaddy, Chris Proudfoot, and they didn't want him there. So when they did these interviews, oh, we just want him home. We just want him home. Did they really? Did they really want this boy home? Because if they did, why would they have been trying to put him in a home? What did they want him to come home so they could just get rid of him? Because that's what they planned on doing anyway. So when we see these crocodile tears in the early interviews that Katie had in her eyes, and it's very telling because at that time, we gave these people the benefit of the doubt. We didn't know, right? And then of course, she Joe Dirt Sebastian Rogers. She basically just leaves with her kid missing, which it's just odd behavior in this case. Now, of course, they're doing a gathering in front of the sheriff's office to bring awareness so, that the police don't give up down there in Hendersonville, Tennessee. So that's going to be on February 26th. I think Seth and his crew will be out there, but I've been thinking about stopping in myself and being out there myself because not that I'm trying to help the green team or anything or any team. It's just I do believe there is a point where you have to put some pressure on the police. Same thing in the Summer Wells case. I believe there needs to be some pressure put on uh the sheriff down there and Pruitt that's investigating the Summer Wells case because they just don't seem to be doing anything. But they may be doing some things behind closed doors, but they're not giving us any of that information. And I think it's time to give the public an update. Even if you have nothing, you should let us know you don't have nothing. Hey, look, here's an update. We ain't got nothing. That would be better than just complete silence in this case. So the main interview, the last interview she gave, and I'm not talking to YouTube, but I'm talking to mainstream media. I wanted to go over with you guys a little bit today. All right. And this is the last interview she gave. And this was basically 10 months ago. All right. 10 months ago, she gave this interview. And it was odd, right? Just very, very odd. And we're going to go over some of that right here with you. Give me a second. Let me pull it up.
So first, thank you both for taking the time to come talk with me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So here we are. So it's an entire year after Sebastian's disappearance. There's no really strong lead. There's no sighting yet. So tell me what you're feeling now. Here we are 1 year later.
I struggle to put words to how it feels, honestly.
Okay, she struggles. You can't say I miss him. I'm heartbroken. I'm tore apart. My world is crumbling down. She just nothing, right? Just pretty blank.
The amount of ups and downs, the amount of like,
if that boy would have ran away like you think he had every reason to run away, they would have found him. Okay. He was barefoot. How far can he get from that home barefoot? Walking through the woods, stepping on stuff. It would cut your feet up, tear your feet up. You ain't going to walk, but so far, even on the asphalt barefoot. So, I mean, and it was cold. So I don't think this boy ran away. I truly believe that boy left the following morning in the garage, from the garage when Katie pulled out that garage that morning and then said she went to the school, but there's no proof to where she went because Chris called the sheriff's office and there was no way to track the phone call. So we don't know where Katie was at. And I believe that's when she did something and hid Sebastian or handed Sebastian off to somebody and then they did something with him.
possible leads that haven't panned out. We every day, it's like waking up to this reality that it's actually real. And Sebastian should be home with us. He should be in school. He should be playing. He should be learning. He should be.
Yes, he should.
Experiencing life. And until we can find him and until we can bring him home.
To find somebody, you have to look for them. Right? You have to put search parties together. You have to go out and search the woods, search the lakes, and things like that. We haven't seen these people in publicly doing these things. Now, I can't say what they're doing in private, but publicly, we ain't seen them searching anything. We've seen them out with some YouTubers one time, I think, which was for show. And we seen them with SF Investigates when he was droning. But far as them getting in the woods and searching for these kids, we haven't seen that publicly. So you ain't going to find something that you're not looking for. And they're like, when we bring them home, when we do this, but you're not publicly putting enough effort into bringing this kid home. That's why I truly believe he won't be found. Do they really want him found? Do they really want him home? Because they were trying to put him in a home anyway.
We're going to keep doing everything we can to make sure that people don't forget about him. We're going to keep making sure that we spread awareness for him. And
now let me ask the chat. There's almost 600 of you in the room at 5:30 in the morning. Does anybody believe what this lady is saying? Does anybody believe her? If you believe her, press 1. If you think she's lying through her teeth, press 2.
we're going to keep searching, and we're definitely going to keep praying.
You've told me you do want to stay positive. I know you both want to stay positive. That's all part of it. So,
hey, Sweet Jones,
in your mind, do you see Sebastian coming back through your front door? Do you feel he's okay? He's alive. He's out there.
I dream about it every day. I dream that one day I'm going to wake up and this is going to be a nightmare. But yes, I believe that my son is out there somewhere. I believe that we are going to find him. We are going to bring him home, and we're going to find a way to recover from this. And I'm going to watch him grow into a young man. And
he was already a young man. He was 15 years old. Okay, that's already a young man.
You know, live the life that he deserves to have.
Now they say that's rumors, deals. Why would CP's mom be at the gas station in a storage place at 5:30 a.m. that morning? Now, I heard that's rumors. They say their doorbell camera says otherwise, that they never left the house, but I've heard people say that they were seen at the gas station right there next to the storage unit, which sits about a mile from their house. So maybe a little less than a mile. No, it's about a mile.
What would you say to him when he walked in that door?
Oh, God, I don't even know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs.
Well, we're only 1 year away from him being 18, so you're not going to have to wait long, Helena, okay? Because he will be 18 here next December. So, and you know, time flies. So, and you know, so many people think that this child is going to pop up when he turns 18 and that they've hit him somewhere, but I don't think that's the case.
Honestly, when I picture that, I just picture being able to hug him, to hold him, to smell him. I mean, just to be able to hear his voice, to hear his laugh, to see him just be with us and be okay is like I can't wait to see my son. I want to find him so bad.
I think her crying is fake. And yeah, truly, guys, trigger warning. I don't think Sebastian Rogers is with us anymore. I know, Dolly, I was wrong with Melanie Buzzard. That is heartbreaking. Yeah, I thought that they had hid Melanie myself. So you can't get them all right, you know, and that's a tragedy. And hopefully, you know, they're not even seeking the death penalty for Melanie Buzzard's murder, which is insane. And, you know, she should really be charged in Utah, but they're charging her in California. I don't know. I just don't feel like there's going to be justice for Melanie Buzzard.
You think he's coming home, right? How would you describe what you all have experienced this last year with so many unanswered questions still?
It's horrific, to be honest with you. I don't know how to describe what it feels like to watch the news, to go hang flyers in every store, every business, every place that you go to, and still.
You got to remember, Like when Seth was doing his thing, they wasn't helping Seth. They wasn't showing up to the prayer vigils. They didn't show up to any of it. None. Matter of fact, the one they were seen at the Harley Davidson dealership looking at motorcycles instead of being at a prayer vigil for their child where the whole community was coming out to support their child and they couldn't even show up. It was a little strange.
Find that some people don't even know about it. To hear that there might be a lead, and then just to sit there and have to wait and find out that it's not him yet. And
it's pure hell. I mean, there's nothing you can, there's no words, there's no way to put how this actually feels. And anybody that can, I don't see how. I mean, it's day-to-day life changes and you're stuck. It's almost like it feels like it's a Groundhog Day thing where it's the same thing over and over. You wait, you hope a phone call may come in, you may get something, may get a lead. Turns out to be nothing. That's how it feels.
What is that message? I know we were talking earlier last week. Tell me what that message is that you want to make sure our viewers hear from you tonight.
I want to thank everyone who is searching. I want to thank everyone who is spreading flyers, spreading awareness. I want to ask everyone not to.
Why, if she wants to thank everybody for doing that, why ain't she taking part in it? Right? Why didn't she take part in any of these services? Why didn't she put any of these things together? None. Right? Even Seth, right? Like I don't like all the people Seth hangs out with, like TikTok Tony, all them other people that involved with him, the fake intelligence agency. But why haven't these people done anything? Even Seth, which I think is a lazy dude, has done stuff. But these people have not done nothing publicly. Well, we're going to search for them, but we're going to do it behind closed doors where nobody can see it. Why ain't you doing anything publicly for your child? That's always been my biggest problem. And you left when he was gone. You haven't put the effort. And then you wait a year before you even go out and do anything. A year later. Good morning, guys. If you're just tuning in, make sure y'all give the video a like. There's almost 600 of you here now. I guess people are starting to wake up. Wake up. We got some stuff to go over. But, even if you started searching today, I would say it's better to search than never, better late than never. But man, they waited a long time to get into the game and still not doing enough in my opinion.
Forget, and I want to encourage people to keep helping and to keep bringing awareness not only to our son but to all of the missing children, because they all deserve to go home. And I would also like to say that if my son could hear it, that we love him so much and that we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Notice that she don't make eye contact.
Describe your.
Now I seen that tear. I seen that one tear roll down her, but some people are good at making themselves cry. I think that kid didn't just vanish off this planet. There's been no sightings of him. Nobody's seen him. He left barefoot with no jacket on in 30-degree weather. And he would have went somewhere trying to get warm and somebody would have seen him but no, not a sighting of him. Not one camera in the neighborhood picked him up because he didn't leave on foot. He left, and you don't need shoes on if somebody's carrying you to a car. Just my opinion.
Hope right now.
I'm trying to be positive as I can.
Just one tear.
Because I know that my son is out there. I struggle to find words to even describe how it feels anymore because it's a living nightmare, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the fact that Sebastian is out there and that we are looking for him, and we're going to keep looking for him, and we're going to keep praying to God that he is okay. And we're going to,
baby.
We're going to bring him home.
This story, we know it's baffled our Hendersonville community. We know it's baffled the mid-state community. It's baffled much of the country as they hear about it. Is there anything that stands out to you that's the most baffling? Like you're just trying to understand?
How we've gone this long and still haven't found him, honestly, is... I don't understand how we haven't found him yet.
She did this interview at the 1-year disappearance of Sebastian. She waited a year before she even tried to get on the media, right? She did some interviews in the beginning. And then when, people started talking about the thud and her inconsistencies and what she was saying, she basically shut down all interviews. And she waited 1 full year to do this interview. Now, most parents will be screaming from the rooftop, trying to get their kid on the news, everything they can do to bring awareness to their missing boy. And it seems like, to me, just my opinion, they don't want to do that.
Why do you think Sebastian is still missing?
That's tough to say. I mean, it was the largest manhunt in Tennessee history for a child. And absolutely zero evidence. There's nothing out there. Law enforcement's working due diligently. They are working hard over and over and over. We appreciate everything they do. I mean, it is an active investigation, so I don't want to go into it. But it is mind-blowing at the same time that it's been a year, and the amount of people that still don't know about this, it's unnerving, basically.
And I know you both want to try to get the word out as much as possible, and that's what this story, obviously, that's what we're trying to do as well. There are many people who still do not know that you all have hired a private investigator. What
Did they
can
really
you
hire
tell
him?
me about the video that he recently has discovered and wants to share? I know this has been shared with authorities now.
Yes.
It has.
This is involving the neighborhood that you live in.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about that video?
It's eye-opening to see that this is something that recently has surfaced, and it's been this long. It's just taking that long to find something. And what the video shows is kind of mind-boggling. We went from potentially not having a sighting to potentially having a sighting. And it kind of changes, like, wait a minute, now we may have something to actually work off of and move forward with and see where this goes. Exercise every avenue till its fullest.
No
It doesn't
stone
matter.
unturned.
No stone unturned.
You got to turn the
Katie, you
stones
told me
over.
earlier you were determined to get to the bottom of this, to get to the bottom of that video.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that could possibly be something that could lead us to him. We're going to keep looking. We're going to keep digging and keep finding and confirm if it is or isn't, because, I mean, if it's possible, then it's got to be confirmed.
How hopeful are you that this video truly has something that could lead to finding Sebastian?
I pray that if there is anything even remotely in it that could help us find Sebastian, I pray that it is I don't know how to word it, but it's followed up and found out and confirmed one way or the other, because, you know, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the video. I know it's in it. It actually gives us more rejuvenated hope that we may actually be onto something. We just have to run it down. We've got to figure this out. And with law enforcement doing what they can, and with the help of like TBI, the FBI, all of that. I mean, I believe Secret Service was involved in the beginning. Maybe they can look at this video as well. Let's bring people back to the table, and let's exercise every possibility of enhancing this video, looking at whatever, and tackling what it is to get an answer.
Now, this is your chance to respond, to speak out, to speak your mind, whatever it is that you want to say. But you know, no matter what the story is, there are always people who will point fingers.
I mean, people wouldn't point fingers if you didn't give them reason to point fingers, right? We got 619 watching and 327 likes. Please hit the thumbs up coming in. Oh shit, I'm rage quitting again. I'm kidding. People got mad about me rage quitting. They were like, "Oh my!" But I didn't think people were interested in the story, because that's how I tell by if y'all like what the content is, because the likes on the video. If I don't see a lot of likes on the video, I just feel like you guys ain't into what we're doing, and why do it if people are not into enjoying watching what I'm putting out? So if you haven't yet, take a second, hit the like on the video, and then shout out where you're watching from. If you enjoy this type of content, like the video, because when I look at the videos and the likes are down, I just think, well, they must want to hear something else. They're not into the Sebastian case. They're not into the Summer Wells case or whatever I'm talking about in that video. So then I look for other things to talk about. But if you enjoy what we're doing, take a second and like the video. It helps the channel, but it also helps spread awareness for these kids. And you know, my mission here is to spread awareness, and I need your help. And if you're not helping, then my voice ain't going to get out. I'm just wasting my voice, you know. So please take a second, like the video. Texas Burr, good to see you, Texas. Good to see you guys. Everybody's like, damn, Dolly really left the other night. I mean, like, hey, there's things I can be doing if we're in this together. If we're fighting this war to help these kids, I need some help. I can't fight alone, right? And that's how I felt, like I was fighting alone. Chatsworth, Georgia. Hey, what's up, Georgia? My home state. Hit like every time. It's free and takes about 3 seconds. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely free. It's like ringing the doorbell. It's like people want to come in and watch, but they won't help out at all. It's like, that's super disrespectful, right? Like if I come to your channel, or if you had a channel and I came there, I would like your video. It don't cost you nothing. It's free. It ain't like I'm saying, hey, give me $100 and you bored and watch all the time. But you know, I don't know. Is there that many haters watching from the bushes that there's hundreds of people? If you don't like me, then why are you here watching me? That's my thing. So do your part to help the algorithm pick up our videos, and so I can get to that 100,000 mark, so I can retire, ride off into the sunset.
What do you want to say to anyone out there who wants to say that one of you could have something to do with Sebastian's disappearance?
I would say to
You're right.
pause and to think, and I would say to consider the sources of information. Try to make sure that you're getting legitimate information. Avoid the rumors. And I would say that everyone should pause and remember why we all came together in the first place.
It's cold here in Virginia too. It's a cold morning. I'm starting to get the sniffles too. And then I don't got the heat on in the studio. I got everything unhooked because I was moving things around. So it's a little chilly in here. I'm starting to get a little cold now that you said something. And children don't run away from nothing. Now listen, if he ran away, it's their fault. They were trying to put him in a home. They didn't want him there. They were treating him mean. If they did something to him, it's their fault because they did something to him. So any way you look at it, to me, these people are at fault for what is happening right now. There's no doubt in my mind of that.
And that is because Sebastian's missing, and because I'd like to believe that we all want to find him, and no matter what anyone's personal opinion is, that the most important thing still remains, that Sebastian needs to be found and Sebastian needs to come home. And I would just say thank you to everyone and anyone that is a part of that.
So let's say Sebastian is listening when this is running, and he hears you, he sees you. What do you want to say to him?
I would say that I love you so very much, and that I hope that you're okay. And I would say that know that we all love you, and that there are so many people that care and so many people that are looking, and hang in there. And
so many people looking, Sebastian, but not me publicly. Okay. Everybody else is looking for you. But the people that should care about you the most, we're not doing anything publicly. Now, I can't speak for what they're doing in private, but in the public eye, I haven't seen them doing next to nothing. You know, I've seen a little bit of fake searching with people that ain't searchers. All right. Drama channels in the woods searching. That's who they're out there searching with. So to me, that is just insane. And I wouldn't call that searching. And then you got SF Investigates, which ain't never solved a crime in his life. And basically is a ambulance chasing ass person, in my opinion. Okay. It's almost comical.
know that we're going to find you. Know that we're going to bring you home. Just, I miss him so much.
So at this point, it's keep searching. People keep looking.
Keep searching, keep looking. We keep putting up new flyers. I know a lot of places, they take them down after so long. We just keep going back and putting more up. I refer to my original request, just anyone that's willing, don't let him become forgotten. Don't let him become lost in the next story.
That's what you're doing, Katie. That's what you're doing. When you didn't go on the media on his birthday, and you said they did this drama, the media don't want to cover it. But they cover everything Seth does. When you said that, and then you get up here, you're not even doing it. You don't care if he's in the media. If you cared, you would have did interviews with him on his birthday. And you chose to go on to one of your friends' channel with just a few hundred people watching and make it about, oh, poor me. It's about Sebastian. right? And that kid didn't run away from home. I just don't believe it. In my opinion, I don't believe this kid ran away from home. Somebody would have picked him up on camera. He would have been seen somewhere. Nothing. So I think you got some explaining to do. And the reason you don't want to go on the news is because they may ask you some shit that you don't want to answer.
Not to supersede other children, because they all deserve just as much, if not more attention, because all children do. But I would say just please don't let him become forgotten and lost, because we're never gonna stop. We're never gonna let that happen if we can help it.
With his autism, is there anything else that we should add that you want the public to know right now?
I would say that he is what they would consider high functioning. He's not, he doesn't struggle with verbal communication, but he does, he does struggle sometimes with expressing himself, is, I guess, the best way that I could put that. But he's so smart, and he's so capable, and that I think the initial image of him that was portrayed was misleading to an extent. And I think that in the chaos,
that's the most honest thing she said, I think, right? That he's highly functional, and the image that was put out in the beginning was misleading. I think it was too, and that's the only reason they put out an Amber Alert for him, is because they told him he was endangered and he had to have medicines and he wasn't very high functioning. And come to find out, all he takes is sleep meds. He don't got to have meds that like he's gonna die if he don't have them. It was like they made him sound like he was like couldn't talk and was super slow, and that ain't the case whatsoever. And like when Katie and Chris described this kid, sounded totally different than when Seth Rogers described the kid. I was thinking, man, it sounds like they describing two different kids. So at least he's being truthful here, saying, hey, yeah, at the beginning it was kind of wrong. He's really high functioning. He's a good kid. He understands what's going on. He knows he can take care of himself, but he ain't taking care of himself in the freezing cold with no jacket, no shoes on, no phone. There's something up with that. All them nice houses, but not one camera caught him on tape. And he magically avoided every camera.
Of trying to get the initial information about him out, that various things got taken and misconstrued. So I would just tell everyone that he's smart, he's capable, he's funny, he's able to speak to you and to recognize things. You know, he's a teenager, and you know, so he's a young man. Honestly, he just had a birthday, and I'm sure that his mustache is coming in more. I mean, he really is a good kid.
What do you miss most about your son?
Oh God, I miss his smile. I miss his laugh. I miss going and doing fun things with him. I miss taking him to get a haircut and him saying, "Mom, feel my head." I miss cooking dinner with him. I miss game nights. He would play Uno until the sun came up if you let him. You know, he goes through phases of which games he's into, but you know, I miss him. I miss everything about him, the good, the bad. I miss his attitude. I miss, you know, him trying to eat all the sweets instead of dinner. I miss him stealing my Brussels sprouts while I'm trying to cook them.
That's odd.
Oh. I sense lots of joy that's being missed right now.
Green tea.
His jokes, the way he laughs when he tells a funny. He had there's a video that I put out that he was being goofy, and he had this like half gallon of green tea that he had gotten from the grocery store, and he thought of this joke, and he ran in the kitchen and he grabbed a green cup and he was like, "Mom, green tea." And it was just so funny, and I was just like, "Dude, hold on, you got to do that again." And I grabbed my phone and I was like, "You got to do it again." And he was like, "Green tea." And he was just like, it's not in the video, but he was just rolling because he just thought it was the funniest thing ever. And
He's got some quirky one-liners.
oh God, he was getting he was getting to where he had some good ones.
Sounds like a great sense of humor.
It was definitely developing. He was coming into his sarcasm. You know, like one of the other videos I released, when it's hard to hear, but we were bowling, and because he has a lot of fun with it. He actually was getting a lot better without bumpers. But he like rolled a good roll, and he turns around and he's like, "You got wrecked, Mom." And I was just like, what is happening right now? But I mean, I miss that, you know. I miss being able to hang out with him, you know, because he's not little anymore, you know. Which we had a lot of fun when he was little, but when they get older, you know, you start being able to do.
Why don't they ever talk about why they wanted to put him in a home? Right. And the only reason they put that out is because they were angry at Seth, because Seth had said something. So they wanted to make Seth look bad. So they said, well, we was going to put him in a home, and Seth was too. So they were trying to find a place for this boy to go because none of them wanted to take care of him, which is super sad. That's a sad situation.
Different things with them, and you know, game nights are, God, they're a blast sometimes.
We didn't have pool days this year.
Pool days?
No, Katie must not have any friends. I have never seen a friend speak up for Katie and take up for her or anything. I mean, people on YouTube, which, you know, drama channels, which usually support baby killers anyway. So, but other than that, no.
It's big in the summer. He loves to go to the pool as much as possible.
Swimming.
Oh God, he loves to swim. He's I don't know if I put that picture out or not, but there's one that I took of him. He has on this like giant, I think it was a flamingo, and he was just like just being a cool guy.
Being a fun kid.
Yeah, Stardust, Shorty. If that was the case, man, I think one of those neighborhood cameras would have picked him up, but he was able to avoid every camera in the neighborhood, which, like, what is he, Houdini? What is he, like David Copperfield? Kids just don't vanish. He would have had to walk past one of those cameras. Nobody's seen him. He didn't have no shoes on. He didn't have no jacket on, but yet he's so smart and understands what's going on. Make it make sense. Even Seth said he didn't like to walk around barefoot because he stepped in an ant pile. So, but this night he just happens to be like, I'm going to leave barefoot, and I'm going to not put my jacket on, but I'm going to take this flashlight that don't work, and I'm gone. I'm out. Peace. Deuces. I just don't see that. I just don't see that happening. This boy was able to cook for himself, take care of himself, get himself on the bus in the morning, get himself off the bus. He would stay 13, 14 hours by himself at Seth Rogers' house and be able to survive. But this day he's on the spectrum and way down there and don't know to put his jacket and shoes on. It don't make sense.
For our viewers, before
we end this, I guess you're.
Dogs didn't track anywhere technically. People, yeah, the dog went to the pond, but the head investigator said it was a false hit and the dogs wasn't tracking them, right? If they tracked him to the pond, why didn't they track him when he got out the pond? And he wasn't in the pond. So they never had a track for Sebastian Rogers, according to the head investigator. That's what he said, not me. That ain't coming from me. That's coming from the head investigator. They never had a scent for Sebastian Rogers. It's like he didn't walk out the yard. And if he would have walked out barefooted, have you watched Mob and Silver Dolly? What am I going to watch? Mob look at lights for a year? I can't watch that shit. I've watched Silver, but far as the Mob stuff, like, I mean, he's still looking for shadows and lights. Okay. 2 years later. I can't listen to that shit. You know, wish the guy nothing but the best. I wish he would move on to something else, but you know, it is what it is.
Your message for them is just
Barefoot would leave a
hope
good scent.
Yes. Remember him.
Keep looking.
Share his face, because talking about him is what we want to do.
And then, you know, of course, that whole looking at the lights and looking at the shadows, that's suggesting that Sebastian ran away. I don't believe that. So why would I listen to something that ain't right? That kid didn't run away. He was taken away. Now, if he was talking about him being taken away, I might watch it. You know, if he was making videos about, man, he probably was in the trunk of that car when Katie left, I'd probably watch it. If you made videos about why they got rid of him or what may have happened in that house, I'd watch it. But I'm not going to watch some shadow and lights and this weird shit that don't make any damn sense, that we done been told by the father that he's seen the video and it's a trash truck. Let me watch that. Let me watch these lights move around for a year and a half. I can't do that. You know, when people make content that interests me, then I watch it.
Make sure that people know his face. We want to know that people know who they're looking for, and we would just ask that everyone just kind of be aware of your surroundings in general. You never know, and all it takes is just one person that could make a difference. And go ahead.
It's okay. You don't got to be sorry.
Constantly being vigilant, just looking out.
Some people just have different opinions about what happened to these children, you know. And, you know, me, I got a mic, so I voice my opinion pretty heavily. But, you know, everybody has the right to investigate it the way they do it. And, you know, it is what it is. I can't tell people how to run their channel. But me, myself, I'm not going to worry too much about two lights because, yeah, you're right. They're lights. But is that bringing Sebastian home? You know what I'm saying? Is that a shadow? Yeah, that's a shadow. But you got to remember, people walk their dogs around here all the time. I've been in the neighborhood multiple times. There's people that walk around that neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood. People go out, be jogging. People be out walking the dogs, even at night. So there ain't very many street lights, though, in that neighborhood, which you would think for a neighborhood that's got $1 million homes in it, they would have some damn street lights, but it is pretty dark out there. The lights were a dump truck, right? Yes. According to Seth, they, you know, because Seth went down to the police station, they showed him the whole video because the video that everybody shows on YouTube of the lights moving basically is called Nick Barris went into the house and took his cell phone out with his old shaky ass like this and was videotaping the TV with his cell phone. That's not the original video. The police have the original video, and they showed that video to Seth Rogers. Seth Rogers seen that it was a garbage truck. Seth Rogers came onto this channel and told me, hey, Dolly, I went down to the police station. They showed me the whole video. It's a garbage truck. And then he got with TikTok Tony and then started saying it wasn't a garbage truck. So which one is it, Seth? Right? Why change the story like that? So But yes, it was a garbage truck, and people looked at them lights. And then remember the monkey boy dude? He overimposed Chris's shadow into a picture and then went on Nancy Grace with it. And then once Nancy Grace found out what he did, she pulled the whole interview down. That's the only time I've ever seen Nancy delete everything. She deleted everything that had to do with Monkey Boy and his fraud. He lied about his name. He superimposed images over it. They were busted on YouTube, him and Betty doing that stuff together. Right? Just horrible shit. Trying to like make up evidence against these. Listen, I believe they know something myself, but I ain't out here trying to make shit up. It was horrible. That what they did was just terrible. And then, everybody was running with it. And you had that whole little group of people that were believing the intelligence agency. And they were pushing this narrative, this fake narrative. Horrible situation, man. Some people should not be in true crime. Right? They need to find something else to do with their time, but they should not be in true crime. Like, go give fucking makeup tips and, maybe a hair plug. Don't let the monkey rip your hair plugs out. But when Nancy took that interview down, I was like, because you fraud, you fake, you look fake, you're who you say you are is fake, and how you acquired your image was fake. So, 3 fakes make a Nancy pulled the whole shit. You can't find, and then his people were like, oh, she's just editing it. It'll be up in a day or two. That shit. Where's it at? A year later. Where's that interview at? That shit got pulled. She cut that quick as she could.
They're aware of what your surroundings are. Please, if you see something, call 911. Call TBI. I know there's a lot of other things out there, but
we would encourage.
It needs to be segregated. Like just a single point of right back to law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it needs to go. Anybody that sees anything, just report it. Please.
Do you feel that there's someone out there right now that knows something? They're just not saying it?
It's hard to say until we can run down this video and figure out what we're seeing. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to, because it's an investigation.
Now, that's the video that SF Investigates was talking about, that there's a shadow of somebody that's walking their dog and somebody's hiding behind a car, and just all kinds of crazy stuff these people come up with to push a false narrative, right? The thing is this. There's no proof that kid ever left that house. None. Zero. How did that kid get out that house without nobody seeing him? Next to impossible. But they want us to believe that, right? They want us to believe that. So that way, oh, he's a runaway. It ain't our fault. Can you see my comments? Yes, I can see comments. So I don't think this kid's a runaway. And I don't think most people in true crime that have a little bit of common sense think this kid is a runaway. Behavior. Their behavior is odd and strange. Somebody knows what happened to this child. He didn't just vanish. Also, new information coming out in the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case about Daniel driving around that night when allegedly he was supposed to have been in bed, and witnesses seen his vehicle and believed that it was him driving around at 1:30 in the morning. And then, of course, you got the mother of that child not doing anything publicly whatsoever, not giving interviews, lawyered up, not trying to spread awareness, not doing public searches, not took part in any of the searches, didn't go to her own child's prayer vigil. You got 383 likes. That is so horrible. You guys do me dirty. I swear. Y'all do me so dirty. That ain't a very lot. That's pretty low. 383 likes. Okay, I'm going to start doing member stuff. Go back to members. So, we have this information coming out with that. And then, of course, the mother, she gives an interview and she's basically emotionless, right?
I'm just staying as.
I want to, pull this up real quick so we can watch this together. And this is the one and only interview that Malaya gave. We got 434 likes. Okay, that's a little bit better. But we got 646 people in the room. So that means 250 of you didn't like the video. All right. It just don't make sense to me. Like, you come here and you watch, but you don't like the video. It's bizarre.
Hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate.
This has been on members only. This ain't on members only. Hold on. I didn't set it up for members only. I thought I had it on subscribers 1 minute. Hold on. How can I can't get to my edit part. Hold on. Let me blow this up. Edit. I didn't have it on members, did I? Oh my God, I did have it on members. Okay, no wonder nobody's liking a damn video. All right, here. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even know it was on members. I said next time I'm going to have to go to members, and it was on members. That's why nobody's liking a damn video. They can't talk. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so there we go. Now it's off. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. No problem, Donna. Like the damn video. Okay, now I see people that ain't members coming in. No kidding, Dolly. I didn't know, guys. I'm sorry. I thought it was open to everybody. So I was thinking, why ain't nobody liking the video? But I guess if you're sitting out there and can't chat, you ain't gonna like my video. If I'm glad somebody told me. Thank you, Dolly. Okay, Sassy. So we had so many people sitting outside. Okay, now if I let you in, like the video. Good to see you guys. I was wondering where everybody was at. I noticed late last night, I was like, man, this is the slowest I've ever seen the chat. Usually the chat's flying. And it was just kind of creeping along. And I was like, okay, it's late. Everybody must be tired. Thank you. I was hoping you would take it off members. I didn't know it was on members. I swear I didn't. I thought I had it on subscribers 1 minute. You liked the first time you came in. Okay. Now we are cooking. I'm here. Usually catching replays only. Okay. You still liked it. Okay. Well, that's good of you. Thank you. I saved my I hit the like even though it was on members. All right. We still love you. All right. Cheers, Dolly and everyone. Now I am going to be doing some members stuff later today. So, if you haven't, think about joining up. I didn't mean to kick you out tonight though. All right. I thought it was open for everybody. You liked it too? Thank you, Tina. Well, about damn time. Okay, it's all good, guys.
The huge search effort going on right now, but we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been
6:30.
issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home.
Why ain't there any emotion in what she says? Right? There's like zero emotion. She's pretty emotionless. And thank you. I seen you said you liked the studio. I've been rearranging things, working on getting the mixer hooked up, the new microphone hooked up. So that's why the sound is back right. I actually me and PJ got 2 new chairs. They won't be here for a week though, but they match, and we're gonna put like a little table in the middle. And and then we got a sign that's going here. That's like a neon sign behind us. So it'll look real good in like a couple weeks, right? We'll have our whole setup. Right now we don't have everything. So this chair's leaving. Remember the big chair I used? That chair's leaving. And we got 2 matching black chairs. And we got like a nice little table that goes in between it. So PJ have her own boom stand like this. And that way when we do our show, y'all be able to hear everything. So the whole professional setup, I still got to tweak it a little bit, the sound, but it's a million times better than what it was. So, like I said, I had to move everything around today to make room. So when the new furniture comes, y'all get the whole look, the whole new podcast and look. So it's going to look really professional when we're done. It'll have like the backlight and like the different colors, and it's going to look really good. So, it's taken a while to get everything in. And as stuff comes in, we're going to be putting it in place.
Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're
okay. Oh, it looks really good. One, because I'm not using a green screen, so you don't get any of that fuzz or unclear stuff. We also got a new camera coming. Okay, for streaming. This one is an old Canon, so we're switching up the camera, and so soon we'll be in 4K. We'll have the whole podcast set up. It's just slowly building it.
always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds.
That's the same thing Chris Watts
And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday.
He left the first day. How would they have been in your bed if you wasn't even there to be in your bed? That just sounds crazy. Like, oh, they wasn't in my bed. Well, you packed your shit and left the first day they left.
Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. soon as I noticed they weren't there, I immediately jumped right in the vehicle and surveyed all the area, every dirt road, every culvert they could find. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and
So
anything like
fake.
that.
That's so fake
But
right there.
and Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends, not just brother and sister. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends, not just brother and sister. I know they took their boots. That's pink boots for Lily, blue boots for Jack, with dinosaurs on them. Lily had her backpack with white, and it was white with strawberries on it. I imagine now if they're in the woods that it'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpack. I don't see them keeping a pull-up one for that long after it got soaked from the very first day. We only found the 2 boot tracks outside of the house.
Whereabouts?
Right beside the house, probably 10 feet away from the backyard.
In the backyard, okay.
Nothing new other than the helicopters are still in the air. And they had dogs. They took around the dogs today. And as of last night, they had 8 more drones going on on the infrared. I urge the public to come out if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to.
All right. So tell me that ain't odd. And that's when the kids, like day one of the kids going missing, and you got these people emotionless, appears to be fake crying, and the mother packs up and leaves day one. Even Katie Proudfoot didn't leave day one. This lady left day one. Like, okay, kids are gone. I got to go. Right? Contact my lawyer. Who does that? Who the hell does that? And then you got, see, I believe that Malaya Brooks and Daniel know what happened to these kids. That's just my feeling. And that's why they're acting the way they do. Joe dirted them. There you go, Sweet Jones. Definitely Joe dirted the kids, and which is absolutely horrible. So just terrible, terrible, terrible. And like I said, behavior speaks volumes, right? Or lack of behavior. Because most mothers would be screaming from the rooftop, trying to get onto the media, trying to bring awareness for her kids. And then she did that one interview where she was emotionless, sounded like Chris Watts, and then bounced. Now, RCMP, I know people left comment, Dolly, why are you giving our police a hard time? It's just like the police in America and Tennessee. Tennessee, they suck. Okay, I'll tell you too. Tennessee, TBI, they couldn't solve a damn case to save their life. They're like the RCMP of Canada. But the rest of our states, most of them are pretty good. We usually get the job done. I know my state does. Virginia, you ain't getting away with shit. You're going to prison. Even if they don't find the body, they'll just find a reason to put you in prison. So it's just a horrible situation that these people are getting away with this. And basically their neglect, I would have charged them at least with felony child neglect for them kids being out on their own outside playing and them being in there asleep because they've been up all night partying. But they didn't get that. They didn't get charged with anything. And basically these lie detector tests where, people are passing, that's why they can't use them in court, because they're not worth a damn. These people right now, you start putting people in jail until they tell you where their kid is at, be like, oh, well, you just going to sit here until we find them. We wouldn't have so many missing kids right now if that was the case. So, look, guys, y'all give me your thoughts on these 3 cases we discussed here this morning. I'm going to grab me some breakfast. PJ goes live at 7:30 and from about 7:30 to 8. So she only stays on live for about a half hour. I'm going to grab some breakfast, get me something to eat because I didn't eat nothing. I've been cleaning all night and rearranging. So I'm gonna grab me some breakfast, and I will be back with you guys at about 8:30. There's this story I want to talk about coming out of Texas, and we will go over this missing girl that's been missing since Christmas, and I will discuss that stuff with you. So if you want, tune back in at 8 o'clock, which is exactly in almost an hour, 15 minutes. That gives me time to grab me some Raisin Bran, some food, and munch out real quick. And then I'll come back. So if you don't get the notification, make sure you stop back in about an hour and 15 minutes. I'll be live with you guys. All right. Y'all be good. Stay safe. And just remember, Dolly loves you. Peace.